It's finally here. The last video in the whole series about Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson working together. How exciting. So let's talk about the beautiful world of Shane Dawson. So right at the beginning of this video, Shane gives what 99% of the world wants to see. I mean, this poor guy, he tries to avoid this stuff as much as possible because of his history, yet people just love it. Please give me the drama, give me the soap opera, give me the tea, I've got to know what happened. Give me the overreacting, give me the, oh my God, I can't believe he said, she said. You know what, Shane? I feel for you, man. I know that's just what people want to see. So congratulations on a very successful series. It's unfortunate that you had to focus on something that had nothing to do with the entire project of working with Jeffery Star. However, I think you handled it as well as you could, especially with that much pressure from that many people. So kudos to you, Shane and Jeffrey, for handling that so well. I really prefer the other information and the other exciting things because they're way cooler. So at about 14 minutes and 44 seconds, they finally stop talking about the tea and the drama, and they actually get back into the meat that's so exciting. And what you start to realize is that this entire series has built up urgency for the product, but not just the product, especially for the brand that is Shane Dawson. Everything about Shane, everything about Jeffrey too. See, the residual benefit for Jeffrey is that by making Shane Dawson a star, he's known as the man who made Shane Dawson a star, and everything else he does benefits from that with a ripple effect. So the urgency that's created there is absolutely vital. Remember, this is a huge marketing piece. It may as well be called the new gig economy infomercials. These are the gig economy infomercials. They look like entertainment, but actually, like the soap operas, they're ads, and they're getting you to buy into the brand. The really interesting thing is, compared to the soap operas, was the soap operas didn't have anything to do with what they were selling. The ads then came in and they were completely separate. They were about Palmolive soap. And then to go back to this story about drama. This infomercial, this soap opera with Shane and Jeffree was about them as people, them and their lives and their family and friends and their lives and their work together, which actually encompasses the entire brand that is them, Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson. At 15 minutes and 15 seconds, you notice again how important additional security is. They're going into the facility and they just kind of breeze by. But notice that Jeffrey now has, when you go in, there's someone at a desk checking who's coming in and who's going out. You can be sure that all the doors at all his facilities are very, very secure now after everything that's happened in this series. So at about 17:12, a comment is made about the Mall of America, and they're watching everything happen online as they're getting ready to fly to the mall, and they're going through the process of the launch. And the expression or the comment that's made is that the Mall of America has never seen a line that big before. And that should tell you just about how successful this launch has been compared to every other product that incredibly large mall has ever presented. That tells you a lot about how effective Jeffrey and Shane working together has been. So at 18 minutes and 11 seconds, they start to realize that they're having a challenge with the websites. The quantities are not showing up and their things are not loading. In fact, really what starts to happen is they can't even log in to their administrative side on Shopify because the traffic is so enormous. And this was after working with Shopify day after day after day for the last couple months, preparing them, telling them, listen, this is going to be big. These are the numbers that we experienced with our first merch launch. And now the pallets are going out with everything else. So you got to be ready. Oh yeah, Shopify. Oh yeah, we'll be ready. We got this. No challenge. We've never had anything more than this. And everything just shuts down. They can't even log into the administrative side to see what's happening. They just have to cross their fingers and hope that things are actually being sold. That's an incredible challenge. And one of the reasons that's so important, and I really have to emphasize this, is because what Shane and Jeffree did literally has redefined how e-commerce will be handled in the future from now on. Because of this model and its incredible amount of success, every gateway on the internet that allows for payment processing, so those are merchant gateways, right? You have to have that. You can't just have a bank account. You have to have a gateway with a bank that allows you to take transactions, credit card transactions. Shopify provides that, and also they work in conjunction with banks and credit cards to be able to provide that ability. They have never had 2.5 million people try to buy something at the same time. Now, one of the other lessons that I'm sure Shane and Jeffree learned, especially their internal team, is that never try to put the products up at the same time that you go live. You always want to make sure that you put the products up the day before and hide them and have them on a web page that's not listed. So you've got a landing page with links, a link that goes to the products, but there's no link, right? This is my suggestion, okay? It's just a good suggestion. It's a good example of how e-commerce is now going to have to completely rethink about how you launch. See, before it was you had a Shopify store and you put your products up and you click launch. You load them and they're not up yet. They're loading up and the images are going up and the pricing and everything is going up, and then you click launch and it all starts to populate in your store, right? What you need to do in that particular circumstance is to have everything already up and launched but not visible to the public on a link that's not available yet. And then you launch the link. And so then that link allows everybody to go to where the products are live, because there were a couple things that went wrong. The Shopify servers couldn't handle 2.5 million people trying to pay money to them at the same time. So now there's another distinction there. So there's a few layers that need to be explained. There's the number of people that come to your site and are looking, right? That's much larger than the number of people who've actually selected a product and put it into the cart. And then the number of people who have stuff in the cart and are actually checking out and paying is even smaller than those other layers. Okay, so the website has to be able to handle however many millions of people coming to just look, right? Then it also has to handle on the merchant gateway side, not just the number of people looking, but the number of people who've selected products, and then the number of people who are actually entering payment information and trying to check out. They're trying, I want to buy this. Why can't I buy this? I want to give you my money. Please take my money. Okay, so it went from however many millions to 2.5 million trying to check out. They already picked their products and they're trying to get out. They want it. So Shopify and e-commerce in general, for the record, has never experienced that before. They could handle, they said, 5,000 to 10,000 every 5 to 10 minutes. 5,000 to 10,000 checkouts. Okay? We're talking about 2.5 million. If you were to do the math for 2.5 million people trying to check out, and you only could do 10,000 to 5,000 every 5 to 10 minutes, you're talking about a few hours to get everybody checked out. So there's a real serious challenge there in terms of people finally losing interest and going someplace else, which they did. They went to all of the different sites, to the Morphe site, to Jeffrey's site, to Shane's site, to everything they could at least get to. So you have this spillover. Now I wonder really how many sales they lost simply because people got angry or upset. Now, and that's what happens nowadays. You know, so many people are just so used to the idea that you just hit the button and you get it and it's yours. And well, you want it, well, it's flip a switch and it's yours. There's instant gratification everywhere. Nobody has to work hard for anything, which is one of the things I loved about this entire series is you see how hard they worked for the entire year to be able to launch these products and have this series be so successful. That is not pushing a button and making money, which is what most people want. They want to push a button and get their pallet. I want my pallet now. How come I can't have it now? I want it now. So keep that in mind. That's not how it works. And the wonderful thing about this particular video are not just the records that were broken in terms of sales, but the new processes that you can be sure will be put in place to make sure that that kind of money doesn't get left on the table again. 2.5 million people waiting to check out. I would be very nervous to look at the number of them that fell off and lost the sale because they couldn't check out fast enough. So you can be sure Shopify and every other e-commerce platform that does merchant gateway transactions is going to be looking at that very closely, even if it's not in the news. You can be sure of that. So keep that in mind. They broke the internet. They literally shut it down as far as being able to do e-commerce because Shopify was so overwhelmed they couldn't function. They couldn't barely function. So a really good example of what kind of people Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star really are is when they're doing the launch or it's right before the launch actually, and they find a tweet about a young girl who's in the hospital receiving treatment to try and save her life. And she's trying to move with her IV over to the window to be able to get reception on her phone just to be able to buy the pallet. She wants it so desperately. I mean, talk about urgency. I mean, she's on the verge of, possibly dying and she's trying to move out of her bed to the window. I want this pallet. So the amazing thing about that though is, number one, Shane and Jeffree actually are paying attention to what everybody thinks and says. They care about their customers. They care about their fans. They care about their audience. But then they actually notice this, and the first words out of their mouths are, send one to her. Find out where she is and send it to her. There's no way we're going to make that person wait. For her to feel that special and that connected with us, we want to make sure she gets taken care of. You got to understand something. That's an indication of true character, the true, genuine, generous, kind souls that they are. Okay, yes, they've had their controversy, and yes, they have their quirks. Who doesn't? I mean, who on this planet, or even more importantly, in the YouTube world or in the celebrity world or in any industry world, could claim to be perfect? Nobody's perfect, especially when you're under the kind of pressure those guys are on a regular basis. They are judged moment by moment by moment of their lives by millions of people looking at them and judging them and making comments about them. Imagine that kind of pressure. That would wear on you after a while. And yet, despite all of that, their true heart comes out in that statement. That, you know what? Just get one to her. That's ridiculous. She should be in bed, resting and healing. We're going to get one to her. So I thought it was very important to make that comment and point out that that's the kind of people that you're dealing with when it comes to Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. Despite everything else that people have said about them, or even things that they have done that they may have regretted, the fact of the matter is you're dealing with real gentlemen. So speaking of their character, at around 37 minutes and 50 seconds, Shopify offers to basically knock people out of the queue to pay, to be able to give Jeffree's team the administrative access that they're looking for. They're trying to get into the administrative side to be able to monitor the sales. And so the only way to do that is basically to shut it down. So everybody who's waiting, all those 2.5 million people who are waiting to pay, please let me pay, please let me pay. And Shopify is trying to take the money as fast as it can. Can you imagine that? People just throwing money at you. Here, fine, I'll take your money. I just need a second. Can I breathe for a second? For hours and hours on end. They actually tell Shopify, that's ridiculous. If they're in line, don't you dare knock them out of line. That would create chaos. I mean, can you imagine the tweets that would be received then, or the comments that would be received then? People would hate them. So fortunately, Shane and Jeffree made the right call. And again, that's testament to their character. They said, no, we don't need to see what's happening if it means that folks who want to buy our product are in line and are going to lose their space. That's not okay. So again, that speaks to their character, and I thought that was a really important thing to mention here. So Shane starts to freak out, which is what he does, and that's fine. We love Shane despite his quirks, right? And he says he doesn't want to go to the Mall of America now. And watch Jeffrey switch into business mode. I mean, he is an excellent mentor and an excellent guide and coach for Shane. He makes it very clear. Listen, first off, this is not a flop. Second of all, this is a business, and we're going to the Mall of America. This is exactly what it's like in theater, exactly like what it's like in movies, in bands, in any, especially entertainment. The show must go on. Everything has been lined up. Everything is scheduled, despite the fact that he also, Jeffrey that is, has sold out numbers for several sites already supporting the decision to go ahead. When Shane starts to slip into his emotional wreck, I'm an emotional wreck and I don't know what to do and I'm so scared and I'm afraid of this and I'm gonna explode from my anxiety mode, Jeffrey steps in and says, oh no, you don't. We started this, we're finishing it. This is a business deal, and we're going to make this happen because we gave our word. We gave our word to the stores, to the distributors, to our teams, to our fans, to our customers. We gave our word. We are going. Jeffrey shines again as a wonderful mentor. So at 54 minutes, we start to see this wonderfully sneaky way of slipping in customer testimonials. All the people opening and all the people talking about the palette and how beautiful it is. The responses of the fans, right? Come on, guys. This is classic marketing 101. When you put up a sales page, one of the things that you put down at the bottom when someone scrolls to the bottom are all the testimonials of all the happy customers and how wonderful the product works for them. Because you don't believe the manufacturer, you don't believe the celebrity on TV, playing basketball. You believe real people like yourself talking about how they use the product and how it was the best thing since sliced bread. See, remember something about sales. You're never really supposed to sell anything. You're supposed to find a need and supply that need, or create the need and supply it. See, there's two ways of going about it. Find a need that's already there and give the people what they need, right? Or create the need and then give them what you've created as a need, right? Now, what they did with Shane's product line is actually a combination of both, okay? They created the urgency around Shane Dawson and his brand and all the products that he wanted to create. He could have created pet luggage and people would have bought it, okay? With that series, he could have done anything. He could have built a car himself and started the Shane Dawson Automobile Company and people would have bought them. But he picked makeup because that's where Jeffrey was. I'm combining their names. That's funny. So that's where Jeffrey lives. That's his world, and that's what he understood, and he's had success in. So it makes sense. So he went with makeup. So there's the need that's been created for Shane Dawson's makeup and products, but there's also the global need and demand for just makeup in general. Women need makeup. They want to feel beautiful. They want to participate and enjoy these things together with other folks, with their friends and their family, and online, and show how beautiful it looks and how nice, and look at the difference, and isn't it wonderful? Isn't it fun? And yes, it's a lot of fun. So there's already a global need for it. So they got to take advantage of both of those things, those needs. And then all they had to do was just supply what was being asked for. Jeffrey really was smart in working with Shane, not just because he's a good guy and he needed to be taught how to monetize so that he could live more comfortably and not be under such anxiety all the time, but because he knew that that was a huge business, a huge successful business move. You know, one of the things I'd like to, right now, just in this moment, just for a very brief moment, I'd like to gloat that I predicted their launch would be one of the largest in the history of the internet. And guess what? It was. I mean, they literally broke e-commerce. So that's it. I'm done gloating. All right, cool. So just remember, when you're talking about a launch this big, they're not really selling. They're supplying something that you guys are already asking for. So at 57 minutes and 50 seconds, Shane, well, let me say it this way. Jeffrey makes the comment that it's nice to see that Shane is not nervous. He's not anxious, because now they're at the Mall of America, and Shane is getting his makeup on, and Jeffrey's getting his makeup on for the big meet and greet for all of the people at the mall. And you even hear Shane make the comment, "Oh yeah, I'm not nervous now. I know we're sold out. So now this is just going to be exciting to meet everybody." What a wonderful sea change in Shane. He's completely relaxed. He's completely in the moment and gets to enjoy meeting all those wonderful people that came to see him. What a wonderful memory that's going to provide him and everybody there for the rest of their lives. They will remember when they got to meet Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson on the historic launch that broke e-commerce. I mean, that's huge. And he finally can relax and just enjoy it instead of being nervous about, oh, who am I? I don't know, and I'm not, what if this, and oh my God, what if we don't sell? Already sold out. It's a done deal. So when they're at the Mall of America in Morphe and they're about to walk out into the crowd, Jeffrey steps up again as the perfect coach for Shane. And he says, you know what? You need to go first. This is your show. And steps back. Now, look at what that says about Jeffrey and Jeffrey's character. He could have said, oh no, I'm Jeffree Star and I did this. I made you great. So I'm going to go first. Hi, everybody. No, that isn't what he does. He says, Shane, you worked really hard for this. And I really appreciate you as a friend. You need to shine right now. This is your moment. Pushes him out first. How wonderful is that? You know, I had a thought when I saw that scene and they walked out and the crowd was so enormous, all those levels and so far back. The thought was, there it is. The colors heard round the world. Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star have created the colors that will be heard around the world. You watch, a whole generation of people, of young women and young men, are going to grow up using these palettes and using their products. They have forever transformed the face of fashion and the world. So near the end of this video, it's typical Shane Dawson style. Well, you know, I didn't do it for the money, and I don't think I'll be doing this again. And I just hope you guys enjoyed it. And you know, Shane, we love you, man. It's great. You do great. It's incredible what you've done with your life and incredible what you've done with your career. Stop pretending that you're not doing it for the money, though. It's okay to do it for the money. Here's why. Because you love what you do and you're really good at it. So enjoy the fact that you're able to make money off of what you love to do. You're supplying us with things that we want anyway. Relax about making money on it. It's okay. We like what you do. Please keep doing it. Now, the wonderful thing is, though, Jeffrey is Shane's mentor, right? Jeffrey is Shane's guide in the business world right now. And what does Jeffrey do in their final meeting for the conspiracy palette? He says, oh, by the way, we have a new product. It's the conspiracy mini palette 2, because we're going to put that color that everybody wanted back in. We're going to listen to the customer. What a novel idea. We're going to listen to what they want and give them what they want. Isn't that what I was just saying? Supply. You supply the need that they're asking for. I mean, they're telling you, we'll give you our money if you give us this. Okay, here. Thank you. Thank you. I wanted that green. It's a wonderful exchange. It's an exchange in abundance, really, is what it is, because energetically you love what you do and you're passionate about it, and they love that you do it and you're so good at it. So they're happy to make that exchange. You don't have to be embarrassed about making money off of something that you love when the people love you for doing it. So instead, I would suggest that you start enjoying the fact that you get to make money doing what you are so passionate about, and that you happen to be really good at it with Jeffrey helping. So the really beautiful thing about that there is that clearly Jeffrey has more plans for Shane, and Shane may not even know it. But Jeffrey is smart enough to only introduce it one baby step at a time, because he knows how Shane gets, and he doesn't want to make him feel forced. He wants him to feel excited about it. This is Jeffrey managing his client, okay? Remember I mentioned that earlier in videos? He's managing his client. You can be sure that Jeffree Star is going to get a lot more products out of Shane. And the best part about it is Shane is going to insist on it being something new and exciting. We can't just do the same thing. It was great that I did makeup, or it's great that I did a palette. It's great, but I really want to do something different. If we're going to do something, Jeffrey, let's do something new and exciting. And you know Jeffrey loves that. So what's going to be fun is to see what they do next. So I don't know about you, but I'm going to be watching very closely. It has been a lot of fun watching this series. Thank you, Shane and Jeffrey. You guys are amazing. It's been even more fun talking about all of the incredible information that you guys have shared in your videos. And I hope that everybody watching these videos has gotten something out of them, at least in terms of a business lesson or a life lesson, or just a little snippet of information that's been helpful in moving you forward. And speaking of learning more information, we have an amazing instructional course called The Richest You, Mastering Money. So if you have trouble with managing your money, or figuring out how to make more money, or being able to actually save or invest, or learn how to invest, or the right places to put your money in when the market's going up or when the market's going down, all you have to do is look at the link in the description below for the Richest You Mastering Money course. So if you liked this video, please definitely give us a thumbs up. And even more important, please subscribe to the channel. We would love to be able to share with you every time we put up a new video. And one last time, Shane Dawson and Jeffery Star, thank you so much for such an incredible experience. It was a lot of fun being able to watch and learn, and then even better, talk about it more in these videos. See you guys next time.